In order to be able to talk about traveling, you should be aware of some of the fixed phrases and the set of rules surrounding this topic. So in this video and the next one, I'd like to show you and teach you some of these phrases. The first two actually mean the same, and they both express movement from one place to the other. So in Spanish, you could either say de a or desde hasta. The first sentence, for example, says voy a viajar de Barcelona a Madrid, which means I am going to travel from Barcelona to Madrid. So de a, it has the movement from one place to the other. One important thing I'd like to point out here is the verb viajar, which is going to be one of the most important verbs in this unit, and it means to travel, and it is a regular verb. So the conjugation would be yo viajo, tú viajas, él viaja, viajamos, viajáis, viajan. Another thing I want to point out is the grammar or the tense that I used right here. It is a new tense that we have covered in the previous video, the near future or futuro próximo. Voy a viajar, so I am going to travel. So right here, you can just see it in practice that it actually works when talking about some plans for the future, some things that will happen in the near future. That's when you can use it. The other sentence uses the second way of talking about movement from one place to the other. Vamos desde el cine hasta el restaurante, which means we are going from the cinema to or towards the restaurant. The important thing is that de and desde have to be followed by the place of origin or origen, and a and hasta are followed by the final destination. Other than that, you can use any of them in basically any context, especially in spoken Spanish, and you can also do a mix and match. So you can say vamos desde el cine a el restaurante, or vamos de el cine hasta el restaurante. So you can combine these as you like, pretty much. So that was the first thing. The second thing I'd like to teach you is the verb tardar. Tardar means to take time. So in the first sentence it says el viaje va a tardar 2 horas. So the journey is going to take 2 hours. Again, you can see the futuro próximo tense, so the near future tense, va a tardar, and then tardar is followed directly by the time or by the time reference, 2 horas, 15 minutos, mucho tiempo. Okay, so you have to say it takes a certain amount of time. This second sentence is actually very important because it combines more of the rules that I'd like to teach you in this video, so pay close attention to this one. De mi casa a la escuela voy en coche y tardo 15 minutos. So from my house to the school, I go by car, and it takes, or I take, 15 minutes. So I take 15 minutes to do the transfer. So here you can see de a, so that's the movement from one place to the other. Here's another thing that I'll cover in a couple seconds, which expresses, how to say that you go by car or by bus or by something. And here, tardo, this is in the first person because the entire sentence is in the first person. So you're talking about yourself. So voy en coche, so I go by car, and I take 15 minutes in order to do this ride. We're moving on to the thing I mentioned previously. So how to express that you are going by a certain mean of transport. In most cases, you say ir en autobús, ir en coche, ir en avión. So go by car, go by bus, go by plane. However, there are two exceptions when we use the preposition a instead of en, and those two are pie en caballo. Ir a pie, which means to go on foot, and ir a caballo, which means to go on horse, so go by horse. All the other means of transport use ir en. We can see that in this sentence, ellos van en autobús y nosotros vamos en coche. So they are going by bus and we are going by car. The second sentence uses this one. So no vamos a pie porque tarda mucho. So we're not going on foot because it takes a lot of time, or it takes a lot. So here you can also see the verb tardar, which I just covered a few seconds ago, and it's followed by a time reference which is not as precise as we had in the previous two sentences. So you can say tarda mucho, tarda 2 horas, tarda todo el día, any sort of time reference that is relatable. So en medio de transporte, a pie or a caballo. Those are the only two exceptions. And the last thing I want to show you in this video is when you want to say I go on vacations. In Spanish, that is used, or that we can say that using the preposition de. Ir de vacaciones. Yo voy de vacaciones a Mallorca. So I go on vacations to Mallorca. Or this is a sentence. Someone could ask you, ¿Cómo vais de vacaciones? So how are you, in plural, going on vacations? And you say, vamos en avión, simply, or vamos de vacaciones en avión. So this would be the longer, kind of the more beautiful, more correct way to answer, but you could just say, vamos en avión. How are you going on vacations? We're going in plane, or we are going on vacations by plane, or in the plane. So these were the four first ones that I wanted to show you, and I'll continue in the next video with some more.